This is kind of part 2 of the George Floyd stuff. We're going to call it the truck. 35W Bridge, spring of 2020, season of riots. Bridge is full of 5,000 to 7,000 peaceful protesters. Giant 18-wheeler, tanker, comes roaring down like a bat out of a hill, flying rebel flags, shooting guns and shouting F the N-word, F the N-word, and tries to run everybody down. Or at least that's probably the way you heard it.
And as we were kneeling in the crowd, we heard a horn and a revving engine. And I look up camera in hand to see this semi barrel into our group of protesters. In the picture that we're looking at, it's a protester who climbed up on the window to stop him. And the video that is currently playing is this truck getting mobbed, him trying to back up over protesters, and then just driving forward, I think out of fear for his own life. And I don't know any motives besides that.
Now, if you look down the way here, you'll see that this truck tried to pull out 2 or 3 times and get out of the way. They chased him down, and if you look way down the road, there's nobody in front of him at all. He's not running over anybody. They chased this truck down to stop it, not to save protesters, but to kill this driver. These people aren't stopping this rig for humane purposes. There's nobody in front of this rig. They put themselves in front of this rig.
We were on the bridge. We had it very peaceful. The mayor was on his way. Royce and I, Royce Wright was the other person with me doing this. We had everybody calm. We were talking, we were waiting for the mayor. All of a sudden we look up, we hear honk, 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 semi coming like 50 miles an hour. And as he got closer to us, he sped up. Thank God all of our...
He sped up, you think?
Sped up. Everybody, all these guys were right with me. Yes, sped up. Then, thank God all of our people got out the way. A girl had tripped. One of her friends got in front of her. So she was bold. I don't know her name. She got hit a little bit, and then that's what slowed.
Not life-threatening, you don't think?
No. She started seizing, and her friend got in front of the truck. That's what slowed it down. So we got her out of there. The truck kept going, but thank God our people reacted, jumped on the truck, and slowed him down. Now
so they literally jumped on the truck as it slowed down?
There were people on the windshield hanging on to the side being dragged. They jumped on it and they stopped it. Now, they did beat him up. They beat him up.
So they took the truck driver out of the truck?
They got him out. They got him out at the very end. But it was leaking gas. The truck was leaking fuel. So we had to get out of there. So all of our people, we started running. Understand, we got about 12,000 people.
Now you smell gas?
Yeah, we smell gas, so we're running. But at the same time, the police have blocked us in one way and then blocked us in the other way.
And just for the record, not one single thing this a-hole has just said is true.
This young lady, she came up to us and she said, "Thank you for being here." Her name's Edie. She wanted to say, why do you feel like it's important for us to be here?
To see what is actually going on in the truth. The media is just completely skewing what is happening, making the protesters who have been out here peacefully, doing nothing but peaceful things, out to be these looters and starting fires and breaking things. It's completely untrue. The thing with the semi was not with us. Your Channel 4 put it out there saying it was with us. That semi came in at like 40 miles per hour. I heard he was cheering while he was hitting people.
I want to bring in my guy, Tell me your name again.
Ivory Jones Jr.
Ivory Jones Jr.?
Yeah.
What has your experience been today? I see your eyes.
I was there at the peaceful protest when he did the protest on the highway, when the semi-driver pulled up. He was going 30 miles an hour, and the only reason why I know that is because he told me that himself. He had broke my phone. I don't have my phone on me. He broke my phone when he's heard I was recording him on my Snapchat. He drove. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I did not stop the semi. When the semi came, I jumped over the little cinder blocks or whatever. Somebody else, some other people stopped it. Somebody else got the door open, but I definitely snatched him out of there. I did hit him 2 times, but I did not want to kill him because I believe that the city of Minneapolis, we're better than killing a man. We're better than killing somebody like they did George Floyd. We're better than that. We're not going to do him like they did George Floyd. We handed him over to the police.
All right, so and then you get all these various news releases and Twitter doohickeys and whatever. It was picking up speed, and here it even says 30 miles per hour, according to MnDOT. All right. And then this Ryan Winkler, who is the DFL House Majority Leader, sent out a life-threatening tweet that this guy was running the Confederate flags and white supremacist insignia. And blood is on his hands, had anybody been actually killed. And probably is anyway, because of the ensuing riots. But I don't know where he got this from, but he just pulled it out of his ass, basically. None of this was true at all. And then this surfaced. The a-holes who tried to kill him and throw him off the bridge stole his phone. And they tried to concoct this conspiracy theory because he was delivering gas to a black-owned gas station on Lyndale and Lake Street. And he was talking to his friends saying, good luck going into that mess. And it turned out to be very prophetic because it was a mess and it did catch up with him. And here's Lonnie, who is the owner of the gas station, who said, these people suck. The driver just left my store doing me, a black business owner, a favor.
It was tough. Like, the lady, she was encouraging everybody to be peaceful. She was saying, take a moment of silence. We were all literally sitting or kneeling, and this truck just came through blaring its horns. I saw people who, like, literally were so close to getting hit by the truck, and people were jumping in the cabin. Like, they finally got the truck to slow down a little bit. Sometimes he would accelerate, or I don't know who it was. They would accelerate, and then they would be able to stop the car. People's bikes were getting run over, phones. There was a fucking wagon, like a little kid wagon, just deserted out there. Like, little kids, and then people are looking for their kids, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. This is everything that's happened, and we were just sitting there kneeling. The mayor was gonna join us. She said the mayor was on his way.
We were all sitting down. They were screaming. We saw the semi start coming. People are getting out of the way. He was hitting people, running over bikes. We got on the truck. We opened the door and it stopped for a little bit. Like, he pushed the guy next to me who was in the truck out. Like, he started going further down. I don't know how far, but one guy was on the hood. He started kicking the window, and he kicked the window, and the guy was still on the door. They got in. They got the dude out. We got in. We're trying to figure out how to turn off the truck. There was like 10, 12 people who had the guy down, the truck driver down. The first 2 cop cars that came up, one of them came out with a bat and started swinging at us. One came out with mace. He got me. They started getting the protesters who were holding down the driver.
Now, I'd like to address what many of you saw within the last hour, a horrifying image
Lie
on our television.
Lie.
A semi-truck illegally entering the closed freeways.
BS.
Appears to be with a flammable or toxic substance driving nearly full force into a crowd of thousands of peaceful protesters. I've been briefed at this point in time. The driver was taken to Hennepin County Medical Center with injuries sustained, being pulled from the vehicle. Commissioner Harrington will follow up further. I believe that driver was arrested. We do not have any confirmed cases of injuries. We're hearing some things on social media that maybe several people were taken by civilian to the hospital. I can't confirm that at this time. What I can tell you is that law enforcement responded to that situation immediately. The reason for that is to protect the peaceful protesters.
Get that shit out! Get that
All right, so I'm courting the gas station owner there, defending Vichirico. I don't want to even name his name. His name shouldn't be out there. They shut down the freeway at 5 o'clock instead of 8. That's 3 hours early with no notice. And the state officials say they believe he was speeding, which is also a lie. Eyewitnesses say 30, 40, and 50. Driver was not doing 70 miles an hour. And we'll see that on the camera soon. And Harrington, I have a lot of faith in Harrington, who is the public safety commissioner. But he was not doing 70 miles an hour, and I don't know where he's getting that information. But that line, 70 miles an hour, or as we understand it, are in that range.
I was breathless as I watched it because I thought I was going to witness dozens or hundreds killed in the immediate crash. And then my fear was the intentional thought of detonating that truck. As it turned out, and I don't want to speak ahead of this, but the preliminary with the interviews of the driver was frustrated. They'll talk about how you close in sections, and he got ahead of that and why they were exiting people, and I'll let them talk about the details of that. But from the driver's perspective, he went around it, saw the crowd, went around the other cars. He did brake, is what you see. But I think the amazing thing in this story was, first of all, that no one was hurt. The crowd then responding, in many cases, just, I'm sure, adrenaline and fear and everything else was happening. But the driver noted afterwards, after he was told it didn't kill anybody, he noted that the crowd, the vast majority, were protecting him. The protesters were protecting the driver, who they had just seen appear to run into the crowd, because they realized how dangerous the situation was. And for those of you who are old enough to remember that horrific scene on that Los Angeles road during the Rodney King events where the driver was pulled from the vehicle and severely injured, peaceful protesters in Minneapolis and St. Paul protected this person even after what we saw appeared at the time to be an attempt to kill them.
The beating that symbolized the lawlessness and brutality of the Los Angeles riot. Truck driver Reginald Denny dragged from his rig and nearly killed.
And here we see the work of peaceful protesters. And here's Walls again. 70 miles per hour are in that range. No, and it's frankly a miracle. No, it's a good driver. Minnesota shoulder, better angels. You want to see some of those better angels? Oh, he did something really stupid? No, you're a lying sack of crap. You didn't close the freeway. You let a mob take over an open freeway on which a truck was driving, along with dozens of other vehicles. They just were able to stop faster. And to the end, they clung to the frustrated. He wasn't frustrated. He was just driving down the road, minding his own business, going home. But the governor here clearly is trying to imply that he deliberately drove into them out of frustration to piss them off. So basically, this mob was at U.S. Bank Stadium. The mayor told them, hey, I'll meet you on the freeway. And John Harrington, director of public safety, said, all right, we better shut down this freeway if this is going down. So everybody scrambled to do that. Now, they didn't manage to do that. In the process of setting up barricades and entrance ramps, closing entrance ramps, it takes a while. And while they're scrambling, Vichirico was already on I-94 when progress started and headed for his turn north on 35W, right across that bridge.
Marty Keller Anderson, the commissioner there, State Patrol and the BCA are all working together on this investigation. What we know thus far is that MnDOT and the MAC and the the State Patrol had planned to close the freeway at about 8 o'clock in keeping with the curfew, which was what we were originally set up to do. So we've been working to plan for that closure, and that takes a bit of time to get that done. At about 16:30 hours yesterday, as we were monitoring the group over at U.S. Bank, and we started seeing that movement toward the freeway, we asked MnDOT can you lock it down now? And MnDOT said, as quick as we can, we will. And they started the process of shutting down entrance ramps and things along that lines. From the traffic cams, we know that the driver of the tanker truck was on the freeway already. He was on 94 already, and he turned onto 35 before we got barricades or trucks there to block off his access to 35. We know that this was his second run of the day. He was running empty. There was no fuel in that tanker truck, and this was his second run back. That this is a route he had taken, and he was, from what we understand, he was speeding. So we do have some information that he was speeding. We do have some information that he saw the crowd, and initially, what it looks like, he panicked, and he just kept barreling forward, and then he saw what he describes, and this is what I'm hearing, a young woman on a bike fall down in front of him, and he slammed on the brakes. And he slid for a certain period of time until the vehicle stopped. From what we can tell from our interviews, we have not had any information, and it's still an open investigation. We don't have any information that makes this seem like this was an intentional act. It wasn't that he went around the barricades to get to the protest. It's not that from where he started, he knew the protest was going on, but it doesn't appear that he was driving to try and intersect the protest at this point. So we have interviewed him. We are continuing the investigation. And that will be that process will move on at this point.
I'm going to go through this just from the traffic cams. And I want you to pay attention particularly to the apparent speed of this truck. We've already admitted he's legally on the freeway and he's minding his own business and he's heading home. Has no idea the protest is actually on that bridge. So here we have, you'll see him, he's coming up here. Does he look like he's passing cars? Does he look like he's speeding? You tell me. Come here. There he is. There he is, Governor. No, he's actually at speed or behind speed. Now he's going to come up to this and goes, hey, what the hell? Holy crap. Oh, geez, look at that. So all these other cars are exiting. They've turned around. Probably 100 cars there have turned around. They're all stuck in this freeway. And the reason I'm including this shot is if you see ahead of him, this is like the second or third time you stopped and tried to drive forward. There's nobody in front of him. There's no reason he couldn't just drive out of this protest. These people have stopped him to kill him. They are here to pull him out of the cab and beat the living hell out of him and kill him. That's what they're doing, this crowd of peaceful protesters. He is not backing up. He's not running over protesters. He is stopped voluntarily rather than run these guys over. Now they've got him against the wall and they're beating the shit out of him. Now he could have just driven forward and crushed them all. And many people think that would have been the better course of action. All right, I won't leave it at that because Governor Walz said the rapid response team was there immediately. The rapid response team was there immediately to protect these peaceful protesters who in this picture are beating the shit out of a truck driver, okay? You will not see this rapid response team for quite a while. Long enough time to beat the shit out of a truck driver. So it's not very rapid, and it's not much of a response. I'm just saying. And the protesters aren't all that peaceful. Oh, there they come. And then they complained because they indiscriminately maced people who were killing this truck driver. And they didn't have time to sort out who was killing him and not killing him. Anyway, I'll just leave you with this. There you go. Look at those protesters still being peaceful. So, boys and girls, turns out there was no mysterious 18-wheeler piloted by some homicidal redneck out to kill black people. That was just a fiction, a wishful dream made up by those protesters, peaceful though they may be, and some crooked politicians, namely the governor, Weenie Waltz and Feckless Fry. All right. Get on with your life. I'll be back with another episode. Grandpa's on the internet.